The Land Before Time, the Illustrated Story. Chapter 3. Sharptooth. Littlefoot and Sarah stood in the shadow of the most ferocious and deadly creature in the land, Sharptooth. "What'll we do?" screamed Sarah. "Quick!" yelled Littlefoot. "Into that tree!" They both dove into a huge hollow tree, but the monster saw them. With a mighty roar, he crushed the tree between his terrible jaws. Splinters of dry branches and chunks of dead bark rained down on Littlefoot and Sarah as they slid into the swamp mud. "What now?" cried Littlefoot. Sarah looked around in panic. Then she spotted an opening in a thicket. "In there!" she yelled. Sharptooth was at their heels, and they could feel the ground tremble. Littlefoot and Sarah cowered in the center of the brambles, thinking they were safe. But Sharptooth chewed and ripped through the twisted boughs. Littlefoot could feel the monster's hot breath on his tail. Leaping to get away, he got caught in some thorny black branches. Sharptooth bore down on him with evil glee. "Oh dear, let's hope he doesn't get him." At the very last moment, Littlefoot freed himself. One of the hard, thorny branches snapped back and hit Sharptooth right in the eye. Then, the monster bellowed in pain and reared back from the brambles. Then, with a terrible fury, he plunged back into the thicket, searching for the puny little creature that had dared to injure him. Littlefoot and Sarah watched fearfully as the giant creature suddenly stopped and sniffed the air. Then he stomped out of their view. "Let's move further back," said Sarah. "No, wait!" warned Littlefoot. But it was too late. "Hey, wait for me!" he yelled as he ran after her. Littlefoot's cry gave away their hiding place. With an angry growl, Sharptooth attacked the bushes once more. They were trapped. Closer and closer the monster came. Although one of his eyes was swollen shut, he was growling softly, enjoying his moment of revenge. Then he opened his jaws and pounced. Suddenly, from out of nowhere, a huge tail slammed into its head and snapped it around. It was Littlefoot's mother. Sharptooth shook his head to clear it. Then he turned to face his attacker. When he saw Littlefoot's mother, he bolted up and started to pace around her. With a speed that was surprising for such a heavy animal, Sharptooth lunged at Littlefoot's mother. "Run, Littlefoot," she yelled as she avoided the attack. Sarah and Littlefoot tried to get away, but found themselves underneath her feet. The huge monster attacked again and snapped his jaws, hoping for a quick kill. But Littlefoot's mother sidestepped the attack again and gave the monster another powerful blow with her strong tail. Sharptooth reeled back dizzily, but quickly regained his balance. He jumped on Littlefoot's mother and held on savagely, trying to bite her neck. But she twisted and squirmed and fought back. Littlefoot and Sarah cringed against the wall of a cliff, watching the battle with mounting terror. "Run, now!" cried Littlefoot's mother. "I will follow you." The young Longneck and Three-Horn ran as fast as they could, looking back in fright. Littlefoot's mother had now freed herself from Sharptooth's death grip and was crashing through rocks and boulders, trying to make a path for them to escape. Once again, the beast charged, and once again, Littlefoot's mother struck him down. His fall sent a huge wave of mud towards Littlefoot and Sarah, which caught them up and carried them right into the jaws of the raging monster. Littlefoot's mother, realizing that she would have to act swiftly to save the two youngsters, bravely leapt forward and hit Sharptooth in the belly with all her might. The great beast went down with a ground-shaking force. "Now, Littlefoot!" cried his mother. "Run through that canyon!" Littlefoot and Sarah scooted through a small canyon between the cliff walls. Littlefoot's mother was right behind them as Sharptooth scrambled to his feet. Just as Littlefoot and Sarah found shelter among some rocks, the ground suddenly began to move. A crack appeared and rapidly began to widen. The ground underneath them rumbled and shook and tilted sideways. Rocks, trees, and chunks of earth exploded into the air as they clung to each other, trying to stay on their feet. Littlefoot's mother was nowhere to be seen. Only Sharptooth was still there, stomping his way with a wild look on his face. Littlefoot realized that Sharptooth was no longer chasing them, but only trying to save his own life. Suddenly, the ground they were standing on tilted widely, and amid a spray of hot steam and black smoke, the two youngsters slid right down onto Sharptooth's toes. Now the three of them were stepping back together. A deep canyon had opened, and they were all sliding towards it. Sharptooth was going tail first, so Littlefoot and Sarah scrambled up his body to his head. Even in his terror, the huge beast saw his chance to crush the tiny creature who had caused him so much trouble. But as his jaws opened wide for the kill, the snap of a familiar tail sent Sharptooth flipping in the air. Littlefoot and Sarah went sailing up past him. The next moment, the huge beast fell into the screeching dark canyon, slipping and clawing at the sides. A few heartbeats later, Littlefoot and Sarah screamed as they slipped down after him. Stay tuned for Chapter 4. Peace out and see you next time. Bye.